Welcome to ENCO. As you can see, we have two main windows showing. The window on the left is the library window, and inside the library we have all of our various cuts, from different types of music to station IDs and PSAs. The window on the right is our playback window. This plays exactly what's going on over the air. Now, in order to create a playlist to put into the playback window, we need to first come over here to the library and click on the playlist button. That opens a new window called Playlist Modify. Inside the Playlist Modify window, click on the white playlist button and then change Selected Group to All, and that'll bring up all the different templates for all the different shows. Now let's pretend that we are the Friday, Saturday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. show, 16 to 18. So we're going to highlight that and click Load. That's going to bring up the last playlist that was used. We're going to go ahead and delete this. And this is how we create a playlist. We start by dragging and dropping. Assuming we're a Radio 200 music show, we're going to start by putting in all the different songs that we want for our 2-hour show. And we fill this sucker up with about 2 hours worth of music. Remember to obey the DMCA rule of not playing more than 3 songs by the same artist in a 3-hour period. Next, once we have all of our music in, it's then time to add some station IDs. You want to have about 6 station IDs each hour, so I recommend putting them in almost after every song. And again, you can do this in any order. Once you have enough station IDs in your show, it's then time to add a PSA. You want to have at least one PSA every hour. Now, if you choose to change something, you can just drag and drop. So, for example, if you don't want a station ID followed by a PSA, if you'd rather have that PSA in between these two radio song cuts, we can just drag this like so and put that in the middle. And last but not least, always check the promos folder to see if we have any promos going on for the radio station itself. If we do, like we do here for our Creeps and Ghouls dance that's coming up soon, we want to make sure we put a couple of those in, make sure that plays at least every hour. I would recommend twice an hour. And there, that looks good. Now we're ready to save the playlist. Again, all the template playlists are named accordingly to show days and times, so don't change the file name when you go to save it. Just save right over that existing file and say OK. And then close the Playlist Modify window. Once that's closed, you want to come over here to your playback window. You want to right-click on the black bar, which is your preview bar. That always highlights what's coming up next, not exactly what's playing. So if you look carefully, you can see that right now Shiver by Coldplay is playing. You can see it up here, Shiver. But it always highlights the item that's next. Don't let that confuse you. So go ahead and right-click on the black preview bar and choose Insert, Playlist. Then find your show, which is already selected for me. I'm going to hit load, and it's going to add everything we just put right into the playback window. There's our show. And that will start as soon as the last thing in the preview bar plays. It'll go right into playing our show. Note that it's important to make sure you have a station ID at the top of every hour. And if you don't, you want to go on the mic and make sure you announce WLAS Newton. So how do we go on the air? Well, first you need to set the playback window to pause. In order to do that, simply come down here, look at the second green button, the one that's counting down, and click on that to turn it red. You'll notice once you turn that red, your little status bar at the top of the screen also turns red. When that's in red mode, as soon as this cut stops, it'll pause the playlist, allowing you to then go on the air. To go on the air, simply turn on your microphone on the IP12 mixing console, watch your levels, and you are good to go. Make sure when you're talking on the air that you're always wearing headphones and that you're watching your levels. Your audio levels should always be hitting the high yellow zone on the IP12. So you'll notice, once a red cut comes to a stop, the entire program pauses. The button in this bottom left-hand corner turns into a green play button, and the red button says MAN for manual mode. As soon as you're finished talking on the air, you want to go ahead and resume by clicking play. And if you're not planning on going on the air after that next cut, you want to come over here and turn this back into the green color, so it'll continue to play consecutive cuts until you're ready to go back on the air again, at which point you will come back and click this and make that red, so the playlist will pause when you're ready to go back on the air. An important thing to remember is when you're ready to leave your show, to always make sure that the second button is green. Otherwise, you're going to walk out of the radio station and the entire playlist is going to stop and there's going to be dead air until another DJ ends up coming into the station. So you always want to make sure that this button here is green before you leave. So those are the basics for creating a playlist and inserting it into the playback window. Have a great show.